times change. Of all the countless blades trying to find their way to the Spartan king Acrotatus, it was the ones from within that hit him. A plot instructed by his son-in-law himself and the heir, now turned ruler of Sparta. Despite his impressive work at stabilizing the Spartan society and converting the foul barbarians to the proper Hellenic ways, he will forever be remembered for his chaotic rule and making his brothers fight another brother. With no evidence of the royals being behind the assassination, they framed the Romans, uniting the empire one last time. Though not all believed this. Among the most religious of Sparta, it was believed the god of war Ares himself was behind the murder, getting revenge on the man who stole the life of his precious champion. And I thought Gallienus couldn't get any more beloved. Guess death turns even the most violent of heroes into legends. Only the few of us watching from the sideline may know the truth of what occurred during these dark days. With Eugenius at the wheel, the strategic priorities changed drastically. Before, it was all about securing Boudorgis and the safety of our emperor, hence the large emphasis on armies in the Alps and Germania. But Eugenius had his eyes on something else. His home, Macedon, is mostly crushed, giving our army straight access to Greece. However, to control the peninsula, we need full control over the Aegean. A challenge indeed. We might not be the best equipped for naval warfare, but if our defense of Apollonia almost 60 years ago have anything to say, our experience could help us prevail. Rhodes and Egypt both were supporters of the Roman Republic. Let's see what they can do. In the north, Homer will recapture Noria, lost to the Eravisci. Herodotus from Illyria will march into Cisalpine Gaul, bury the dead and march on Medlan if possible. As the plan was set, Eugenius destroyed the last known pirate hideouts in Illyria, while the same happened to Macedon on the eastern coastline at the Black Sea. As our spy reported back of no Roman armies being in Greece, Apollonia became a priority. If we cut off reinforcements from Italy in time, securing Greece will be like a Ballas winning a battle. There was no time to waste. Thankfully, our Bosporan neighbors were so kind to donate a large portion of their trireme reserves to our war effort, making it possible to obtain a reasonable fleet for our task ahead. On their travels through the Aegean, some of the ships had been dragged away from the core fleet, a weakness spotted by our enemies. A small number of Macedonian ships still remaining, foraging for supplies, would go for the smaller fleet lagging behind, while a Rhodian armada struck at the main fleet. But they quickly realized how bad a mistake that was. With great success in both engagements, the Aegean was now fully controlled by Sparta, for the time being. As important as it was to hold, the Adriatic was even more so. The larger fleet commanded by Timarchus kept sailing around while the smaller, yet still deadly, formed a blockade around Pella, the gateway to Greece. Still, what we have been through at sea isn't done just yet, as the only Roman fleet not destroyed by our Carthaginian allies tried to attack us. Failed, of course, as the Romans aren't fit for ships. Now we could also blockade Apollonia again. However, just a moment too late, as a single legion already had arrived on our side of the waters. Armies were on their way though, to deal with both offensives. For our smaller fleet it was too late. They stood no chance against the Egyptians with their superior ships and crew. At least they dragged their admiral with them down to Poseidon. This didn't stop our plans of attack though. Nothing could. The liberation of Greece was at highest priority. With support from the sea, Eugenius felt comfortable about making an attack on Apollonia. Many were lost, yet the Romans lost almost 4 times as many as us. With all the major legions gone, Greece was practically within our hands again. Just a matter of time really. Timarchus took his fleet over to the port of Taras and started to raid it. Previously, Pella would have been tough to take due to the Egyptian fleets staying within supporting range. However, as our spies told us about that departure, the Spartan forces stormed the walls, making it ours in almost no time. Not forgetting the citizens of this ancient capital was in large majority either Macedonians or Roman supporters. It was razed to the ground, leaving no man alive. Not wanting the Egyptian army to intervene again, Eugenius tried to make peace. Declined, thanks to the miserable decisions by his father and former emperor. The army which attacked Apollonia needed to replenish. The original plan was for the army to return back to the military province of Thrace, which by now had become mostly Hellenic. However, after seeing the terrible deeds of the majority of their kin, we had frightened the citizens of Pella so much they agreed to join the army. So long they don't betray us mid-battle, I am more than happy about this. Our second army kept on the liberation progress with a swift strike on Larissa and its unaware garrison. They never saw us coming. The town was so joyous about our return back to Greece, they gave us a sketch of how we could reform the armor for our already elite Spartan hoplites. A gift we couldn't say no to. As fast as we could, we implemented this into every possible army, just before we continued our march south again, this time stopping right in front of Athens. The Roman garrison sallied out in an attempt to beat us before Eugenius arrived as well, but that just made the attack on the walls themselves even more easy. I would lie if I said destroying that damned city and its crooked walls weren't satisfying. After so many years of warfare in the past, it was just fitting they would meet their doom by our hands. And so it was the new deserving emperor of Sparta who returned home to the birthplace of his ancestors. Boudorgis, our former capital and tyrannic hideout of Acrotatus, was replaced by the throne room of which the former King Ares once ruled from. Yet the time to sit back and enjoy ourselves wasn't now. While Eugenius so heroically saved Greece from the claws of Rome, Homer freed Noria, returning the Alpine fortress back into Spartan hands. Herodotus even made small raids into Cisalpine, but as the fat Carthaginians decided to join us, our supplies dwindled away, leaving some men starving. Only a small pain for the lucky few, others a fatal, miserable way to die. He returned to the supply region of Pannonia for a while after that. Another army made in Germania took his place on the front lines. And it quickly saw action as well, due to the Eravisci wanting Noria back under their control again. They smashed the Celts, but had to return back to friendly territory due to the lack of food once again. After well over a year of waiting for the supply situation in Cisalpine to improve, Herodotus grew impatient. Rome was struggling and the Celtic allies even more so. Sitting idle was equal to standing in front of an Athenian and not smacking him in the face. The Adriatic was secured from the south, so Herodotus knew an amphibious assault was possible. He marched down to Ida, docked into the port in preparations for the long journey. But to his luck, the winds helped him sail across the narrow sea in less than a month, allowing them to capture Ariminum. It didn't really stand a chance, to be honest. But just like the last time Sparta, or Carthage for that matter, held land in Italy, Rome marched a grand legion of their finest troops to try and stop us in the Battle of Ariminum. So far, the Romans had only seen glimpses of our new master weapon. But against this big of a force, with such an open field right in front of us, Herodotus had to unleash his Sarmatian cavalry, who served under the mighty Gallienus for so long. They encircled the minor Roman vanguard, taking out the first of their two precious legates. The second army, on the other hand, saw no need to fight on the field and tried rushing the town square. But what he didn't know was Herodotus expected this and thus had already placed his pikemen there, with the Scorpions in behind and Celts from Pannonia to flank around the outside of the town. Once the maneuver was complete, the Roman legatus knew he had been outplayed and lost. He surrendered his arms, hoping to be allowed safe passage back to his home. Oh, how wrong he was.